Hi, good morning, uh, everyone. Hope everyone's feeling blessed and highly favored. I had to record this again because I forgot to turn on my mic. I'm using a phone mic, plugged it into the headphone jack, and no sound came out. So yeah, just got some time before work. Hope everyone's feeling blessed and highly favored. Had time before work. Finally the baby just fell asleep at just the right time. She's been staying awake until right before I go to work, so I have to rock her back to sleep and you know then leave for work. But it's all good. Love being a father. But yeah, so I saw something. So I'm gonna talk about North Dakota State moving to the FBS and kind of like the FCS and FBS fan experience. In responses to some comments I saw about North Dakota State leaving their throne in the FCS and just kind of like what the FBS fan experience like kind of is and how it's kind of evolving nowadays into something that might not be good for the sport, but I saw a well-known creator from Snapback Sports. A lot of respect for their brand. They do a lot of good stuff. Um, kind of question why North Dakota State was making the decision that they were making to go to the FCS. Sorry, go to the FBS after winning 10 national championships the last 18 years. We all know the story of North Dakota State's dynasty. And so he just mentioned that it's going to be kind of unhappy and miserable as a North Dakota State fan. If they lose in the first round of the playoffs as a Group of Five team instead of winning national championships. And I think it points to a larger problem. And I say this without trying to insult this creator, this, um, kind of figure in sports media, um, because the playoff has successfully marketed itself. ESPN has successfully marketed the playoff into being the only thing that matters. Forget the other bowl games. Call me old fashioned. I'll get into this later on. But the playoffs is to the point where it's the only thing that matters. Almost like the NFL, where the Super Bowl is the only thing that matters. And that kind of sucks because, from a college football fan perspective, in my eyes, the NFL fan experience sucks. It is horrible. It is miserable, I think, because it's a Super Bowl or nothing. There's 32 teams and only one can win the Super Bowl. And it's getting to the point where there's less things to look forward to now. There's fewer things to look forward to as an NFL fan. Like it used to be like you could watch your favorite player in the Pro Bowl and get excited about that. And of course, for very reasonable reasons, very logical reasons, you can't fault players for. The Pro Bowl is just a shell of itself. It's no longer an accomplishment. It's something that's not fun for fans to look forward to anymore. So it really is just the Super Bowl, and maybe one of your favorite players makes the All Pro team or something, or a legend from your team makes the Hall of Fame. There's just fewer things to look forward to as a fan, and I would hate for college football to become that way because what set college football apart for so many years is the fact that there are so many storylines and so many reasons and ways for college football fans to be happy, especially now in this golden era of fandom. I thought the 2000s with 40 plus bowl games, and no one is saying that a 6-6 team deserves to win the national championship. No one is saying that. Um, but it doesn't hurt anyone if a team like that, a 6-6, a 7-5 team, gets a postseason game. It's just an extra football game. It never mattered much in terms of the national title picture. So like, you know, the fact that it's the marketing of the playoff is successfully saying that this is the only thing that matters. It really stinks, and it's going to get to the point if a lot of these bowls get axed that the FBS fan experience, especially for a lot of Group of Five fans, is going to be miserable. It's going to turn into NFL fandom for the 31 teams that don't win the Super Bowl. And so I'd say that also just with a retrospect and reflecting on my experience at the 2024 Fiesta Bowl, where Liberty went 13-0, played Oregon, ran into the buzzsaw, whatever, we all know, 45-6. But that was a school that 7 seasons prior, um, or maybe six, I'm bad at doing math, but 6 or 7 seasons prior, they were in the Big South Conference, a middle of the pack FCS conference. And in a matter of less than a decade, they went from that to playing in the Fiesta Bowl against one of the sport's biggest brands of the 2000s. I mean, is that not peak euphoria for a program just getting there? Is that not a reason to be happy because they didn't make the 12 team playoff? Like, I think, you know, I think that's kind of the FBS experience. That's kind of the lightning in a bottle that a lot of FCS teams are trying to, go after. Really, you look at James Madison too. James Madison went from the coastal colonial, colonial coastal athletic association to playing in a bowl game on ABC in their first year in the FBS in 2023. You know how many programs have not appeared on ABS in over 4 decades in the FBS? You know how many programs have not played in bowl games on ABC in the FBS? I mean, you know, there's plenty of reasons to be happy as a Group of Five fan. There's plenty of reasons, to celebrate as a Group of Five fan. There's plenty of reasons to look forward to, plenty of things to look forward to as a Group of Five and FBS fan. And I think that's kind of the heart of the FBS experience. And compared to the FCS has a better playoff system, but in terms of the grand scheme of things, there are less happy teams. And the example that it's clear in my head is Presbyterian in the Pioneer Football League. You had a team that went 10-2. They beat two Southern Conference teams. They have their best season since 1959, since the Dwight Eisenhower administration, and this team gets nothing just because the playoff is the only thing that matters in the FCS. And it stinks. Like the FCS playoff is amazing. 24 teams, that's great. But more than 24 teams deserve another game, deserve something to celebrate for the seasons that they have. And in saying that, I point to the Division III system, which it's my favorite system, postseason system in college football, because everyone gets a shot in the playoffs, and there's a handful of bowl games. I want to say there's like 6 or 7 bowl games in the Division III. Some of them are home games on campus sites, just to give teams an extra game, just to celebrate their seasons. Or some of them, including my favorite, the Culver Isthmus Bowl and the Lakefront Bowl, the Culver Isthmus Bowl and the Lakefront Bowl, like those games, give fans a chance to take a trip and take a vacation and celebrate their seasons, because Division III knows, even though everyone gets a chance at the championship, college football has always been more about who wins a national championship in the end. And so with that, the fact that FBS has many points, many ways to say you're successful, many ways to, you know, have find happiness as a fan, I think that's the heart of the FBS experience that we're kind of losing with the college football playoff. And so now I'm just going to briefly address like the Detroit Bowl, like the GameAboveSports Bowl kind of going under and how that kind of ties into it. And at the same time, though, it just stinks that the direction things are going with the playoff encompassing everything is kind of doing what it is, because the GameAboveSports Bowl was one of the very few Group of Five bowl games in NFL stadiums. And so now a lot of these bowl games that the Group of Five plays in are owned by ESPN, and they're great bowl games. Every bowl game is great. I love every bowl game, but they kind of have a college basketball multi-team event kind of feel, where you invite 4 teams to another campus, and it's an event, and it's cool and all, but those stadiums kind of lack the aura of an NFL stadium from a college football purist perspective, like from a guy like me that loves bowl games in the past, where it's like you have these grand stadiums that you invite teams to. Now we're kind of missing some of that with a lot of these Group of Five bowl games, because the only NFL stadiums that host, or only Group of Five bowl games in NFL stadiums still, are the Gasparilla and the New Orleans Bowl. That's it. And it just kind of sucks, especially the GameAboveSports Bowl is a dream bowl. It's an Army fan for me. Now it just disappeared. But let me know if I should do more of these fireside talks. Hopefully that HBCU Legacy Bowl preview comes out soon. We'll be in Jackson, still coordinating it. But until next time, everyone, peace, love, and soul, and burger popper. And Lord bless you, Lord keep you, make his face shine upon you, and be gracious to you today. For today is the day the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it.